I'm listening to this at the same time, you know. Um, it's almost 9 o'clock CBC. This is part 3. So, by the way, it, there are ways to assess if somebody is mature enough to vote. And be careful, though, if you decide to do that for 16-year-olds, you'll have to apply it for people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you'll have to apply it for candidates. Like, for example, the maturity levels of Trump or Poiliev are not high enough for such a role of high responsibility. So again, I am for this. There's a lot of arguments I am for younger age for voting. Even at 16 where they don't get tested for maturity. And there's a lot of complex reasons I could explain this. But the percentage of people mature enough at that age to actually understand the concept of democracy and pursuing agendas such as, hey, there's no suitable candidates, we're talking about our future here, I don't think they're responsible enough for this. And if so, it'd be such a small micro minority. Now, one thing we should wonder about when it comes to, are they old enough, are they responsible enough, do they understand enough their actions, and this is just a vote. We should apply this for people that apply to be in politics or that are in politics, because that's really a lot more important on whether votes are coming from people that are understanding the commons, because politicians don't. As a majority, they don't act like this. And we also have to talk about how candidates are like this before they enter politics, like, for example, more of a temperament of being a public servant, and then suddenly they enter politics, especially if they're part of some of the dominant parties, and suddenly they lose that ability to truly be who they were before and more public servant or big picture or right and wrong understanding type levels. So in a way, they devolve going into politics. So that is more important. It's more important to assess what is wrong with the system instead of infusing some young stuff in it. Because the young people, as a majority, when I was teaching driving, and I tell you, compared to in Ottawa when I was teaching driving, in Ladysmith, I thought, yeah, they're much better behaved here. But I still thought, especially if they're going to drive in places like Victoria, Vancouver, I still thought that they're too young to have that responsibility. No offense to my students. I just live by human standards. So if they're like this, and knowing more about psychological development, you got to wonder, they should be at higher levels at that age. And by the way, the human brain finishes maturing at 25. So why are they not? And again, it's looking at people that have been voting for decades, their parents, their grandparents. How did they end up not being able to role model the maturation process? And really, that's important. It's not about where they're at, 16-year-olds, is how they got there. They got to be less than they should be when it comes to the potential of self-actualizing as human beings and as Homo sapiens. And that's on the shoulders as a responsibility of parents, grandparents, and ancestors. And even more so of certified teachers, nurses, doctors, politicians, all this stuff. Why are the youth of today less and less responsible than they were before?